Today, South Carolina's top court heard Planned Parenthood's challenge to the state's fetal heartbeat law.
That law makes it illegal for a woman to have an abortion after the fetal heartbeat is detected. State House reporter Caroline Yaffa has more now on the arguments made in court.
At the state Supreme Court today, I listened to a debate about the fetal heartbeat and whether or not that occurs at around 6 weeks or 9 weeks.
It was the state versus Planned Parenthood in the discussion about the fetal heartbeat law. Planned Parenthood's attorney, Catherine Humphreyville, requested an injunction, saying while the court debates when the fetal heartbeat begins, women in South Carolina should be allowed to have an abortion up until 9 weeks.
We are saying that the absolute earliest that someone is going to call this a fetus is starting at 10 weeks and 0 days. And so in other words, up to 9 weeks, 6 days, that's the point where you have an embryo and you cannot have a fetal heartbeat when you do not have a fetal heart.
The lawyer for South Carolina and the Attorney General, Thomas Heydrich, disagrees. He says around 6 weeks there's blood flowing, which means the heart is working.
We know at about 5 or 6 weeks of pregnancy, depending on the pregnancy, an unborn child's heart starts to perform the function of a heart.
Justice John Few asked several questions about how healthcare professionals' opinions may differ.
Would you agree, though, that when medical people would try to answer this question, that they would see one person might see it differently than another person?
I think it is possible that one person might see it differently than another person, and I think that that goes to our alternative vagueness argument.
Heydrich argued repeatedly that studies have shown 6 weeks is when the heart is starting to work.
Is the unborn child's earliest form of the heart. I think she describes that maybe as an S-shaped structure, but the key, it's performing the key functions of the heart at that stage. So that would be where we would say the line should be drawn at that point. It happens to coincide somewhere around the 6-week range.
Director of Public Affairs at Planned Parenthood South Atlantic, Vicki Ringer, told us that they are fighting to give women bodily autonomy in South Carolina. In Columbia, I'm Caroline Yaffa.